Welcome, man. Oh, welcome back to the channel, guys. I don't know. Journey, y'all recognize this. It's a Dodge, whatever, but won't go, guys. And no, transmission issue. Check engine light on, but transmission issue. And I don't want to take any chances. I am not test driving this car with a trans problem. So what I'm gonna do is head straight into the shop and proceed with my diagnosis. This transmission complaint will not shift sometime. Now this vehicle equipped with a 62 TE, guys. So I have a way to check the transmission fluid. Yes, that sounds crazy, don't it? Yes, there is a dipstick tube on this vehicle. There is no dipstick. However, there is a dipstick tube. So that gives us a way to verify fluid level and condition, because both of those are very, very important and crucial to the operation of the transmission. Fluid has to be at the proper level, as well as in good shape, not burnt, things like that. So I made it in the shop pretty. Now it was towed in, guys. So one of those. Watch this video right here. I explain the difference between a power steering whine. A lot of people was confusing those. A power steering whine and a transmission whine. They're two different things, two different sounds. So watch that video on how you can distinguish the two. However, this you can pretty much assume it's a transmission whine if you will not go. Okay, now if you had a whining noise in your engine area and you could not steer, meaning the power steering hard, yes, one would assume that's a power steering problem. This is just the opposite from a which one standpoint. Okay, I have the whining noise, but it barely would pull. So you can put two and two together and come to your own conclusion that it's likely a transmission issue, not a power steering issue. All right, guys, like I say, 2 fault codes. Let's go and scan this thing. Now, as far as y'all know, limitations we're under now. I haven't overhauled a transmission in I don't know how long, guys. Basically turned into an R&R man, and I'm no big fan of just yanking out parts, just swapping out transmission. You can hire not journeymen. You can hire trainees to do that. Trainee guys that's getting into the mechanic field would love to take out engines and transmission daily. Okay, I'm at a point in my life where I want to use my brain instead of my hands more. Okay, as you age, your physical standings will, likely degrade, go down, because you're getting older. Now, I'm not degrading older guys, or I'm not putting down older guys. Everybody's getting older, but at some point in your career, you got to start using your brain more than your hands. That's where I'm at in life. Yes, good thing I was in this thing during the heydays of building. In other words, I have been through it. The rugged dungeon of actually yanking engines out, transmission out, building engines, building train. So the knowledge will always stick with me. Okay. So, however, I need to make room in my brain for this new electrical stuff. EV is coming, guys. It's coming. So I want to be on top of the technology. It's simple. Stay with it, stay on top, or get left behind. Nobody wants to get left behind. Guys, let's scan this thing and see what we come with. I'm still not hearing the whine, but I'm gonna take the customer word. I am not test driving this thing. So we're gonna go to a computer right now and see what's going on. All right, y'all ready, man? Let's get it. All right, guys, I'm here at the computer rather. As you can see, there's a yellow on the PCM. Now, guys, follow me here. There's no box that says TCM because the PCM carries double duty. It is designed to operate the transmission functions as well as the engine function. Okay, so there's only one module, but all the transmission functions happening inside of here. So let's click this. There's also a lightning bolt for some type of update. I'm not sure which one, but we more concerned with the fault code right now. And let's go into DTC. What we will see is, oh, line pressure high, guys. That is not a good fault code. Okay, No, that is not a good fault code at all. But we have to diagnose it, and I have to some procedure I have to go through. But for now this transmission, there is no port. I want to say, I don't remember for checking line pressure physically, as in hooking a gauge up to the valve body and seeing what line pressure is. However, it's checked electronically via a couple of sensors on the valve body. All right, I really need to take a look at the condition of the fluid. Look at the fluid, guys. So what I'm gonna do is let's go back to the car and take a look at the fluid. All right, let's get it. Alrighty, guys. Hey, 3.6 Pentastar. Yes, love this engine. All right. Transmission, that means it's definitely a 62. Where on earth are they hiding my dipstick? Hey, there's not even a cap on here. Well, anyway, that's where you check the transmission fluid. Let me grab my dipstick. That is the dipstick tube, guys. I'm sorry. Misspoke. Seem to be getting in trouble a lot with my misspeaking, guys. Guys will call you out quickly. Oh, you dummy, I can't believe you don't see that big A on there. I misspoke on a Honda Accord and a Acura earlier today on a CVT transmission. That guy just got bent all out of shape. Laughing my ass off. I can't believe you didn't see that. Calm down, buddy. From time to time, I will misspeak. I'm human. You know, I'm recording and talking on videos daily. Yes, it's okay. I don't know what's up with people, man. But taking a look at this fluid, it's brown, guys. Oh, I just gave it a whiff. That is a burn smell, guys, an overheated smell. So I'm almost guaranteed, once I go tell my manager that the fluid is burnt and has a overheated aroma to it, y'all know what he gonna recommend? You guessed it, a complete transmission, guys. Oh man, I'm no big fan of just swapping out units, guys. I tell y'all this, but days are gone. I don't even know where my overhaul tool's at. I still have my, this is a Pentastar, I still have my 3.6 ticking tools. Let's take a look. Y'all see the oil down there? Yep. So I'm gonna upsell off at adapter housing. I hear a slight tick, but I don't think that's valve train. I'm gonna check the oil level too, but I need to turn it off first. See, guys, this car take, it's recommended that you use 520 in this. All right, so let me go tell the manager what I've got as far as the fault code. Guys, it's pretty straightforward and simple, and it's not my call. They're gonna simply recommend that I replace. Is that cooler? Yeah, I got, look at that, look at down there, guys. Okay, that water pump's starting to leak in this little water pump housing, guys. I'm glad I saw that. I'm glad I'm talking to you. I really need to let this car up in the air. I'm gonna do some more diagnosis before I write up my estimate, but as far as the transmission, I'm almost guaranteed, because they have they're gonna send an adjuster out. They have some type of warranty, aftermarket fidelity warranty, and based on the fault codes, that's one of those line pressure controlled by the valve body attached to the transmission. It's time for a new transmission, guys. You can likely, and now it depends on why the computer sees low line pressure. Yes, the pump could have failed. The torque converter could have failed. Depends on, what I like to do is drop the pan, guys, and I can go from there. All right, but those parts will likely add up. The total estimate to repair will likely exceed 70% of the cost of the unit and labor. That's when they definitely want you to put a unit in. We have this thing called 70% threshold. If you reach that, it's unit time. Simple as that. All right, so guys, let me go and take care of some clerical things, and I get back with y'all, man. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we go. 2 days later, this video I held open, guys. I mean, look what I got. Yes, guys, as you can see, that is a complete trans unit, guys. Because I mentioned the word overheated, they even got me cooler lines and a cooler. Yes, they very paranoid about repeated failures for overheating. And if it overheated, guys, there is a slim chance that some of the trash inside the pan or the torque converter likely is trapped inside the cooler. So I can understand. Let's take a look at something. It's a typical. Hey, look how they boxed it, nice and pretty. Guys, oh my goodness, I'm an A&R guy today. Yeah, this showed up. This is like a day later. I put in the estimate or told them what I got. Next thing I know, the forklift was bringing this down. Oh, this don't even look like a reman. It look like a new one. Yeah, I don't see an R in front of that, so this likely a new unit. Yep. That's what I'm doing, guys. I would not be able to film me replacing a unit. Transmission, okay. In fact, it's pretty straightforward. But I can, however, speak with you guys about it, talk with you guys about it. I love talking to y'all, man. Y'all are some cool people. So for the record, I'm gonna replace the transmission and the transmission cooler. All right. Well, there is a tool to flush this out. Make sure it's not restricted, but they paranoid now, guys. They'd much rather you just replace it, even though there's additional labor to do this. And look at this. This cooler is not part of the condenser. This is a external cooler. All right, let's go back to the car and see if we can see it. All right, yes. Yeah, this cooler is definitely not part of the condenser, AC condenser. So I'm gonna have to take a bunch of stuff off. Take the bumper and grill cover off. I may just film that part for you guys, but I will not try to refilm the transmission replacement because it's too much work. I don't have tripods and stuff laying around. So guys, that's all I have for this video. It's more of a discussion video of what I'm about to do and what I'm up against. All right, so that's all I have. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next video.